Always helps. Yeah.
Got to remember to click the record button. Hello, hello.
What? It's not doing it.
We're there. We're live. We're going.
Go off. We're off.
We're off.
If you got all the preamble to that, you'll know that it's definitely us. So it's all right.
Yeah, nothing changes.
No. We do know what we're doing, really.
Well, some days.
Come on, this is the face we put on.
But it is at least sunny today. We have sunshine in my part of England today.
Well, we will have sunshine in my part of England later, but at the moment we have clouds and a bit of a sort of northeast wind.
Oh, okay. It's a start. It's a start.
We had lots of hot sunshine yesterday, which was quite glorious. We're supposed to get more later today, and then it's going to get better for a few days. In fact, it's going to get horribly hot.
Summer may have actually arrived mid-July, but it may have actually arrived.
Well, everything's so late.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
I mean, it's like everything's sort of shoved along a bit.
Yeah,
and so I'm just wondering what's happened and all that. But did you see my post about the nest, the digger wasp's nest?
I've actually been away for a couple of days, so
right, so you gloriously missed it. That was a good idea.
So tell us about it.
Well, there I was mowing the I can't call it the lawn. I was mowing the grass yesterday, the paths and the sitting bits, and all of a sudden I was surrounded by buzzing, flying things, and so I thought, bees. Bees I've known nest in holes in the ground and mouse holes and that sort of thing for ages. And I sort of looked and I thought, no, I don't think you're bees. And so I sort of shoved off and moved out of the way. I'd actually done the bit I wanted to do, much to their consternation. And so I sort of shoved off and I went off and did another bit. And then I came back to finish that patch and see what was actually happening. Because at first they were all flying around the chairs and the table that go out there. And it was like, okay, you're a little cross. And
what are you doing?
Exactly. I mean, I was getting it from all sides and buzzing, you know, like, you bloody humans, what have you done now? This is on this, blah, 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 blah. You know, all right, I'm going. Settle down, if you can. I hope I haven't wrecked anything. Which I was a little worried because I'd had to push into the hedge, and I thought, well, if there's a nest in there, have I bucketed it up?
Yeah,
I hadn't, and so I came back and I saw they were mainly concentrating over one area, and so I looked, and there's a hole in the ground, so about yay big, and going in and coming out, and going in and coming out. And I thought at first it was bees, and I took a really good look and was photographing it, videoing it, and no, they're wasps.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, oh, you know, all my life I haven't known about that. Why? Get back inside eventually and look them up, and they're apparently digger wasps.
Oh, I've heard that. I wouldn't know if I'd actually seen one, but I have heard that term, I think.
Well, now you can actually see them on the video because I've got them there. And then I videoed them and said thank you very much and moved off. And the chairs are now all rearranged and the table.
To accommodate the wasps.
Absolutely. But still to accommodate me because it's near one of our bird feeders. And it's absolutely lovely just to sort of lie back there and watch all the birds coming down and see what we've got. Because you're down, about 10 feet away, 12 feet away, and they just come. And it's absolutely glorious. So it was a little bit of an adventure yesterday. So.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It's funny, isn't it? To everyone, oh, wasps. Oh, we hate wasps. But yeah, I don't know an awful lot about them, but I have to assume that they play a part in the whole ecosystem of things. They are annoying on occasion, but then, you know, so humans.
Probably because we've annoyed them.
Yes.
That's usually what I mean. They didn't come to sting me. They were just buzzing and sort of shouting yesterday, and I wasn't flapping about and panicking, so I didn't panic them. But wasps are part of our cleanup crew, like rats.
Okay.
and vultures and, you know, other things that we go, "Bleh," and ravens and crows and all this sort of thing. And buzzards too. Buzzards are half part of the cleanup crew because they take carrion as well as live prey. So we do need them.
Yeah. Everything has its place, doesn't it? Everything sort of slots in so that the whole system works properly.
Yeah. And if it annoys you or upsets you, go and find out about it. And I mean, I used to be, it's people sometimes would say, oh, it's quite daft, but I know other people who'd had it. I used to be, as a child, I loved moths, but I was terrified of them. If there was a moth in the room, I ran it.
Yeah, I can understand that. They have that kind of thing about them, don't they?
It's the fat, furry body that did it for me. Whereas, you know, butterflies are all sort of streamlined and gorgeous, and they're sort of, you know, and they fly differently and everything.
Yeah.
And so I was really sort of scared, and eventually, I don't know, I was sort of late teens, 20, and I thought, this is ridiculous. And so no, we're just going to sit here and do lots of earth sun and breathe and hang in there. And one actually came and sat on my knee, and I didn't actually explode, and I didn't disappear, and I didn't turn into a pumpkin or anything frightful like that. And I got to actually see it, and I thought, actually, I'm fine.
Yeah.
What am I fussing about? Kind of thing. I mean, I know lots of people have the same sort of thing with spiders. I don't. I've always been a bit of a spider freak, but I know people go, ah,
yeah,
and mice too, and you know, and I'm fine with that.
yeah. There's not much that bothers me unless they surprise you, and then you know, sometimes
anything that surprises you, and you're probably about your skin.
No, I don't. I think I'm all right with most things too. But I know what you mean about moths. They have got that kind of. Maybe it's because you often see them when you are about to go to bed, and they're flitting around your bedroom, and you think, I don't want that landing on my face while I'm asleep.
And or I mean, I get them, and we get the hawk moths, and they make a noise, and they're as they come in, and they really fly and weave, and you sort of go like that, as it sort of comes over. But I've got better now, and I'm getting quite good at. I can actually, if you pick one up just by the wing. You don't take all the fur and flying dust off. They actually wear flying dust like witches.
Okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah, I thought so. And I can take it out and put it out the window and say, no, you want to be out there. I know there's lights in here, but there's no food in here. Go out there. And, you know, well, about 60% of the time it works. So I'm getting much better with that. But it's a case of, somebody clever saying is sort of, you fear what you don't understand.
Yes. That goes across the board, doesn't it? For everything. Yeah,
including witches.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. But it does. And anything that is loud or makes you jump or sudden, that usually is. But if you sort of like can manage to pull back and then find out about it, probably the fear will lessen and it may well go away.
Yeah.
But they're all supposed to be there. So
I don't. You mentioning birds of prey and things. We went to Cambridge for a couple of days, and as we were just driving down into Cambridge, a huge murder of crows flew right. There were so many of them. I mean, the sky almost went black with the amount that there were. Yeah. And then pretty much the whole journey, I kept seeing the buzzards hovering above the road, above the the hedgerows. I must have seen 10 or 20 of them on the way as well. Yeah. And Cambridge has got lots of parks and green areas, and I was very pleased to see there's quite a lot of their parks have got strips of wild grasses, wildflowers and everything as well. But crow feathers everywhere.
Everywhere. Yeah,
You were
yeah.
stepping over the crow feathers. But yeah, I'd not seen that many crows flying overhead all in one go before. It was quite impressive.
They don't do it very often, but every now and again you do actually get it. We had it on the student workshop last week. Not crows, but we actually had a kindness of ravens come over us. We had about 15.
Fantastic.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
They swirled and circled, and we knew it was them because they got the diamond tail.
Right.
And they were low enough you could see, and also the sound, the noise is like, it's not a crow. It's not a crow.
Speaking the wrong language.
Absolutely. Once you've heard it, it's so different. But that was sort of stunning, and the students loved it because, again, you just don't see it very often. And it was on different days, and we're in different groups. So everybody managed to see them because they came to the places people went, which was like, thank you very much, guys. That was really kind.
Very kind.
Well, I always do thank them. I mean, we get a lot over the garden here, so I'm always seeing one or two. We've got 2 pairs live in the area.
Right.
I've seen them both, all of them together. But so I always sort of say, hi, thank you for coming, everything all right, anything I need to know. And occasionally there is.
I expected quite a lot of pigeons at the weekend because we were in a town centre, so there was an awful lot of pigeons.
Yeah, there will be.
And of course, they're all quite tame. They don't fly off when you walk past. So
because everybody feeds them and everything, and they're used to people.
Yeah. So I had quite a lot of pigeon conversations. Like you do, like you do.
Yeah. That's one thing we fortunately really don't have much of here. I live in the middle of an organic farm, and the guy does not feed the cattle concentrates. That's the pellets and the bought in feed. It's all their own feed that they're making. And they're out there taking a second cut of silage now.
Right.
But so there aren't many pigeons because there isn't that. And we've got 2 or 3. And we've got a pair of stock doves, which is lovely. No, collared doves, beg your pardon, not stock doves, not the super rare ones. And that's nice. But the previous place we lived, they were an industrial farm, and they fed masses of industrial food, and the cattle were very ill. They really were, honestly. If you actually see an industrial farm, you won't want to eat it. You really won't. I can assure you. And that's where most of your, ordinary cheap meat in Sainsbury's or Tesco's or somewhere comes from. But there were masses and masses of pigeons.
Yeah.
There were masses of rooks and jackdaws and everything. And they also got quite invaded with rats because they weren't careful. They weren't careful with their feed. And the rats all thought this is Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on the edge of the city, so I get a lot of pigeons. Get a lot of pigeons in the garden.
Yeah. They know that that's a good place to go.
Well, they wait because the bird feeders are all a bit small for them. So all the little birds do all that, and then they just land on the floor and pick up all the bits on the ground that all the little birds have.
Which is a good idea because, again, it's cleaning up.
Oh, yeah. It's all... Yeah, they've worked it out. Little ones up the top, pigeons down the bottom, starlings whenever you put out fat balls.
No, we don't get much of that. We've got a family of squirrels. Mum and 3 babies.
Oh, I love them.
They're youngsters now, but you can tell the difference in size and that. And so we had to get a little bit expensive and expansive. We cannot afford to feed squirrels. I'm sorry,
they're but little buggers, aren't they?
you fill up, a nut feeder that's sort of about 15 inches long, and is gone by the evening.
They bring their wheelbarrows in,
and they're just clinging to it. And all the little birds can't get to it or anything, and the woodpeckers, and it's largely up there because we've got woodpeckers,
right?
And So it's like, no, this has to stop. So we managed to stop it just about, although my God, are they ingenious. Finding their ways, and it was like, there's a bloody squirrel up there, quick, why did you do it? Let's like, move the pole again, move the stuff around, stop him getting climbing up there, leaping from drain pipes, all that kind of stuff. But what they do, which is good, is the little birds drop things around the feeder, so they're all around the bottom cleaning up.
Yeah,
but that's not a problem. And there is actually lots of ordinary squirrel food out there, so I don't feel bad that I am depriving the squirrels. So it's all been
working together, isn't it?
Well, it is, and if we can manage to work in with it as well, then great stuff, sort of thing. But I got something. I should ask you, what have you got today? Because I've actually got something I want to talk about as well.
You go for it. Go for it.
Well, it's all Trevor's fault.
We very rarely have a theme. It's exciting to have a theme.
I never know what's going to happen. I've sort of known about this because I've actually been working on it. Anyway, it's all Trevor's fault. Trevor is our editor, our publisher.
Yeah, let's blame him.
Yeah, he's a darling, and it is his fault, really. I think I said a while back, and I've been sort of muttering about it on Facebook, that I'm supposed to do these full-on Zoom courses with the breakout rooms and the whiteboards and the share screens and the large group work and etc. like that, the whole caboodle. So it was like, I think I just want to go to South America now. I don't love you other world at all anymore. No, never.
They won't shut up till you do it, though.
I said, oh, for goodness sake, she's got one on. Let's go down the pub. And she'll get over it in a bit. So anyway, yes, you're quite right. You have to do it, especially when you're writing and teaching, as both of us are. You signed on. I'm sorry, you signed on, and there ain't no get out clause.
Sold your soul. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Too bad. And so anyway, so I said, I'm going to do this, and we've already got a deer trots tribe going, and that's going fine and everything. But no, other world want more. And I said, well, I don't want to repeat this, for goodness sake, that's stupid. And so we had a chat, and the gang in charge of this are Gwynapnos, Elen of the Ways, and Merlin. You don't argue with any of them.
No, that's an interesting
antlers. two lots of them got sodding great antlers they'll prod you with. And Merlin can do toads just like that. So, so I said, okay, well, talk to me, guys. So that was another place for sitting out in this lovely little spot where I've been thrown out of by the digger wasps now. And anyway, it's still all right. So I sat down and talked about this, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, they can't be sort of, £5 turn up when you like live classes, because I can't afford that, and I can't do it. And the sort of thing that I fancied doing, and that turned out they fancied doing, and turned out that Trevor wants me to do, blast the man, are all going to take like a day or a weekend, or in some cases several Saturday mornings to do. So okay, well, how am I going to do this? Because I'm not sort of selling a half-hour yoga class or something. And so chat it away, and the gang said masterclass. So I went, but I'm not Yehudi Menwin. I think of master classes, and I think it's Yehudi Menwin teaching, or I don't know, one of the famous crime writers doing a master class or something like that. Sort of, you mentioned their name. It's not Agatha Christie anymore because she's dead, but you know what I mean.
That would be an interesting master class.
Yeah, I'll go to that. That'd be fun.
I'd pay for that one.
But, I mean, Ian Rankin talking, and I mean, he's known all over the world if you're into that kind of thing. And I'm not that. And you sort of squeeze and squeak, your voice goes up several registers. So I thought, who can I ask? And so I thought, I'll ask Trevor, actually, because he's very good. When you actually ask him a question, he does come out with a sense of
He is a wise old owl.
He absolutely is. and he's not a pushy owl either. Well, I mean, occasionally he is, if you've got a deadline, or he's got a deadline, but otherwise he's not. So I said, Trevor, do you think I could do masterclass? He said, of course you can. You're a bestseller.
Yep.
So I went,
It's quite scary, isn't it? I'm the same. You think bestseller? No, I can't be. No, I'm just me.
Yeah. This is exactly the same for you.
Right, you've earned it. You've earned it. So run with it.
We've sold thousands and thousands of books, both of us, and it's like, oh God, I don't think of myself like that.
No, I don't at all. No.
So anyway, there we were, and with Trevor bullying me from one side and the gang bullying me from the other side, and me unable to get out of the way. So I started, and I thought, no, this is not going to be part of Dear Troll's Tribe. It's too complicated. I'll do a new website. So I've done one. It's still in process. Dead easy. It's www.elensentier.com. Really, just put my name in and it comes up. And so then I thought, oh heck. I mean, it's bad enough setting up the pricing and everything on Dear Trods.
That's I find that the worst thing. You spend a lot of time and effort writing courses or setting up workshops and things. When it comes to the price, for me, that's the worst part.
Well, it's not just the price. It's how do you set up the online payments? Because I'm not an accountant. I haven't got a secretary. I can't sit here piling money and doing receipts and God knows what all the time. And I managed to make it work on Dear Trods, but it was hard work. It was really painful. So back to Trevor. I said, do you know anybody who can do this sort of stuff? And he explained. He said, well, actually, yes, I do. And I recommend this to you too, because you might like to take them up. A firm called Ribbon. You have to write in like ribbon.com or Ribbon. I can't remember what the rest of it is, but I'll send you a proper link. Because otherwise you get up silk ribbons.
Oh, right. Yes. And I've got plenty of those. Yeah.
And, and about down the page, you get these guys. And so I thought, and he said, well, I know one of the guys and he's okay. He's nice. So I thought, okay. Trevor usually gets it right. So I sort of got in there and got involved. They are so good.
Excellent.
And they set up, you have a sort of, like another sort of little website, but it's easy. You just fill in forms that they put up.
Right.
And, is this a single price? Do you want payment plan? Is this a subscription? Is this a membership? All this kind of thing. Blah, 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 blah. Fill it in. And you get stuck and you don't understand something. So you can, they've got a diary. You book a slot with them. A quick Zoom call.
Excellent.
And I mean, I had one yesterday and I booked it at about 9 o'clock in the morning. And it was available. I got it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I got an answer.
Yeah, brilliant.
And if you don't understand the jargon, they explain it.
Excellent.
And so I thought, and the gang was sort of sitting there going, there, see, wasn't so bad, was it?
I think this is probably what people don't understand, is it that we write books and we run workshops and courses, things like this, but we also have to deal with that other side of it, the whole setting up websites, sorting out payments and doing all that mundane techie organize. We still have to do all that stuff behind the scenes.
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just doing this, and I mean, you know, I swan this one because Rachel and her husband do it. Thank you, dears. I love you all. But yeah, you have to do all of this ordinary stuff.
Yeah,
and it can be hard and takes up time, and a lot of it is stuff that really it's not interesting.
Oh no.
You know, I mean, setting up payment plans has to be done, but it's sort of like, oh God, large pot of coffee kind of thing. And it's great when it happens because then, you know, people use it and it's absolutely fine. But setting it up is like, oh. You think it's a job I don't want. So it's very nice to found somewhere that does it. They link up to lots of places where we make websites.
Right.
I actually use Wix when they use them.
Use Wix.
They use Squarespace and I think WordPress and other places like that. If you use that, and they just link with it, and you start off with like one little phrase, which is all sort of, you know, codey shit that I don't understand.
Oh yeah. When you press the wrong button on your website and you think, what's all that stuff all over my screen?
You just copy it, go back to the Wix place, which is a little more complicated, and you find the bit which says insert code.
Yes.
Which was like, where the hell have you put that? But okay, we got there. And plonk, paste, publish, done. And so, you know, I seriously recommend these ribbon people. But of course, they've made it possible. And so I've actually started. And the first one Trevor wants me to do is this one.
Okay, cool.
So it's actually going to be in two parts, because there's two parts that you learn how to actually work with the numbers first.
Right.
And then you learn more about how to understand what they're meaning.
Right.
So bless me, I've actually written the first part. And it's just about up on elensentier.com, but I'm not quite sure I've got the payment bit right yet. And that's part I was talking to the bloke yesterday. I want to be able to make it so that you can pay a deposit and then pay the other half of it just before the course.
Right. I think that's quite helpful, isn't it? I think that's quite helpful for people.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't do it any faster than that this time, because I'm sort of cornered into doing it on the 18th of September. It's that weekend.
Your time frame is not,
Yeah, so otherwise, if it was longer, I mean, I could probably do it so that you could pay it in 3 wallops. And I think that's much, much easier. I mean, I know it's easier for me and that sort of thing. And then the other one that he wants me to do, and this will not be till next year, just graciously, is this one.
Oh, I love that book. I absolutely love that book.
We're doing a masterclass on it. And it'll be certainly 7 sessions. I'm not sure. I suspect it'll be 7 weekends.
Right.
Because you can't go fast. You've got to give people time.
Yeah.
And you've got to give people time in a lesson to talk and to discuss and find things out and try it out. And that's what all this sort of small group work on Zoom is about, and then come back and share it, and then the next stage, etc. So I suspect it'll be 7 weekends, and the sensible thing to do with that is like 7, 1 weekend a month.
Yeah. To
give people
time. I think particularly with chakras, you've got to process it, haven't you? You've got to process working with each one.
Yeah. And also, since, I mean, there can be sharing at the beginning of the Zoom, give them a little bit of homework, and then you come back in and everybody says, I can make head or tail of that, or hey, just like this, and you may have, half an hour, maybe even an hour at the beginning, where people are putting in what they've got on their work, and sharing it out and sorting out questions and things like that. Because I think it's all very well like having the book and, like you say, you love it and all that kind of thing. But it would be so much easier if somebody actually went through it and explained it with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know? Some people work a bit more visually as well, don't they?
Yeah,
and I think you have questions. There's always questions. And if you can ask them and get an answer straight back, that's much easier. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. And the visual stuff, of course, is not
fun to work with others as well, isn't it? It's fun to discuss the ideas and bounce stuff off of each other. Yeah.
And the sharing thing, you know, which you can do on Zoom, and we've all got fairly used to it.
Yeah.
And the visual thing's not a problem because you've got share screen.
Yeah.
And so provided you've got yourself sorted, and the easiest way is to do a PowerPoint.
Yep.
And then run that and have an extra share screen for any extra bits and pieces that suddenly come up, because they always do.
Always do.
You're totally working. I mean, you've got it all in your bones, but you've got to work spontaneously the whole time because everybody's different.
Yep.
And, you know, this lot of people don't ask the same questions as that lot of people.
No, it'll be different each time, won't it?
Yeah, it does. So, you know, the basic structure is there, but then, you know, fortunately, in my beautiful youth, I danced Francie Arlene Phillips. So now I can dance my way through this load of but you feel like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't say, well, I can't answer that now. Well, you can if you can't answer it. For goodness sake, I mean, you say you don't know, don't you, when people say things?
Oh, quite often I'm stumped by things.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
Yeah, no.
But
the interesting bit is finding out what the answer is.
It is. And also, for me, I often do like, well, let's all have a look and find out.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, especially if I'm giving a talk in a room full of people and someone asks me a question, I throw it back to the audience. And someone will have the answer.
Well, probably several someones will have several answers. So you get lots of aspects and views on something, and that's much nicer than, you know, this is tablets of stone from the mountain kind of thing, and my name's Moses.
I think it's nicer for us too, from a teaching point of view, to be able to interact with people. It's fabulous that people read our books. Keep doing it. Absolutely fabulous.
Please. Anyway, we need the royalties.
You'll be surprised how small book royalties are.
Yeah.
I think from our point of view, it's nice to interact with people.
Yes.
And particularly in this internet electronic world now, we can, which is fantastic to get feedback as well.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's quite lonely writing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Because you can't have somebody else around you. You might have some music on, but you couldn't.
I can't even do that.
Listen to what? No, I don't either. But some people do like it.
Yes.
But I mean, it's listening to a word program or anything like that, or having the TV on. No, can't do it. No,
can't do it. It's got to be quiet. Yeah.
Yeah. Birds I can tolerate.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear the seagulls. I've got the window open today. I can hear the seagulls outside.
Even seagulls I can tolerate.
Yeah, I love seagulls.
They don't impinge. Whereas anything that's sort of more humans, you sort of want to listen to it.
Yeah.
And that takes you away from what you're actually doing. It stops your concentration. So, you know, we can get quite lonely and we sort of come out and go, oh, there is a world out there, you know, out of wherever I'm.
But they've obviously decided you were very lonely because they've thrown so much stuff at you. You've got the deer trods, you've got your apprenticeship thing running, now you've got numerology and then chakras.
And the people wanted it and I've half written it. It's lovely. Again, Zoom course, but it will be over 10, like Saturday mornings, hunting the white hart.
Oh, okay.
Which is actually, it's a journey into yourself.
Right.
And better known, and I didn't, it's really weird how I found out of it. Better known is the 10 ox herding pictures. And which, look them up, anybody, you will get it immediately.
Yeah.
But it's, I didn't know until I went and did this, began with the psychology training. And it's a Zen thing. And one of my teachers was very Zen, and I like Zen too. And she introduced us to this. And I was going like this. And she said, after she said, Ellen, what were you gulping at, sort of thing? And I said, well, I grew up and we had this game story that the old folk in the village told us, hunting the white stag. And, it's an old story in Britain. The basic part of it is you go after the white stag, but not to kill him, because if you can catch him, and he does make it difficult, he will grant you 3 wishes. And it's sort of part of that, only it's expanded more. And the couple of, there's old granny over at the bakehouse and the woman next door used to tell us the story and send us off to play, where you go and do this bit now. We was about 8, 10, 12, something like that. And so we go and play it. And what did you find out? Come back and tell her, and then we'd be sent off again another weekend. And so I was told Barbara about this, and she went, yeah, I'm not really surprised. I've never heard of that, but I'm not surprised. All cultures have this sort of journey to find your true self.
Yeah, just variations on the same thing.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, we don't use oxen, and we don't have that kind of thing. At least we haven't for a long time. And in Japan and China, they do. But we've had this deer thing going for millennia, and so we use that. And so this has actually set me off again. I might actually sort of have a hunt round and see what they do in Africa and Australia and South America and things like that. I bet you there's ones there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, people got a bit excited about this a couple of months ago. So I said, all right, I'll organise it. And so that's going to be part of these master classes. Cough, cough, choke. And no, seriously, say it properly, Ellen. These master classes.
Own it. Own it.
Thank you, Rachel. You're very nice to me like that. I do appreciate it, even if I'm going to sing. These master classes that I'm going to do, that was quite good, but I didn't look at you. And so one of them is going to be the white stag, and that is half written, so that is going to come up. And there's going to be a load more. I mean, what have they thrown at me? Numerology, white stag, chakras. Something we do in a lot is we make and use and discover our crane bag.
Right. Yes.
And I do this with the apprentices, but it's the sort of thing that anybody can do. So they're sort of saying you can do either I've done 1 day live courses on it before, 1 day or a weekend becoming your crane bag. Have you got one? Yes, there you go. Yeah,
that's one. Oh, that's nice. That's much nicer than mine.
Well, I didn't make the leather work. A friend of mine made the leather work for me because I just can't. And also he put, and you can see it, he's put this Pictish sort of dragon or dolphin or whatever it is symbol on it, because we both like Pictish stuff. But yes, it's that sort of thing. And it doesn't
actually, I saw a crane on the way home yesterday too. We were just driving past the river and there it was, just landed and sort of, yeah.
And it's so good to have them back, because we haven't had them for ages, and we've had herons, but now we're getting cranes back. And the whole story of that is lovely. So, you do that as part of it as well. So there's quite a few things going on. Oh, a couple of good ones they really want me to do, which won't be too hard, and will probably be just a weekend. Making mistakes successfully.
Oh yeah, definitely got a diploma in that one.
It's absolutely fundamental to all witchcraft and shamanic work.
Yeah.
You must be able to make mistakes successfully. And it's my dad's phrase, and I was getting it since I was sort of even about 4 or 5 or something. Everybody makes mistakes, dear. If you have a person who's not made a mistake has not made anything. The thing is to learn to make mistakes successfully. And I already do this in another way, but I thought, no, I can actually do this as a masterclass, and it would be so useful to people. And the other one they really want is alchemical composting.
Right. Yes. We've spoken about that before, haven't we? That's a fascinating process.
And again, it's vital. You've got to be able to do it. We're both doing it every day, all the time. And but it's got to be over 4 weeks, because you actually need the time in between,
right,
to do processing stuff.
Correct, yeah.
So it's a case of working all this stuff out. But oh my god.
Do you need more hours in the day, more days in the week?
I have been trying to perfect my patent for a 72-hour day for most of my life. But they still won't accept it.
And don't forget the book writing. You've got to add into that as well.
Well, I'll have Trevor on my back for one of his fairly soon. And I've got the novel to finish and get on with. And it's just like, oh my god,
this idea of writers, the idea of writers just sort of laying about on a chaise lounge with
chance to be pondering
the universe. It doesn't happen.
No,
it doesn't happen.
Half of your ideas come up, when you're doing the dishes or weeding the garden or taking the dog for a walk or something like that.
Or when you're writing something else, and
even worse.
And the other idea sideswipes
and you sort of go, pause, quick, back.
I write things down. I've got notes everywhere. I've got literally all these ideas and things. They're all on odd notepads and things. And then when I think, where did I write that? I then have to
which one. But you learn to douse fairly quickly. You've got this notepad. Yes. Oh, it's that one. That one. And it's absolutely what?
We'd get into so much trouble if we didn't have all this stuff to do, though. Idle minds and all that.
Well, I mean, especially us, because we're both sort of completely nuts.
Well, yeah.
And I say that as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
and probably quite anarchical too. So,
but a huge part of this pathway for me is being able to share with other people what we've learned, what we've experienced, the knowledge that we've gained.
Yeah.
Because if you are sharing it with someone else, hopefully they'll benefit from it. But you also, the feedback as well, if you're walking the journey with them, which you do when you're running a course, don't you? Because you're walking the journey beside them. You learn stuff from it yourself as well. That, for me, is an important part of it, is the sharing side of it.
It does not work if you do not share.
No.
You can't actually go and lock yourself in a cave and learn this stuff. Because you eventually, it's navel gazing.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to get it out. Also, other world want this stuff shared.
Yeah.
They want it out there.
Yep. And they'll keep prodding. I've got a course coming out myself next year, an online course, which I've written with the girls from Kitchen Witch. But this was nearly 2 years ago now. We went to Glastonbury just for a couple of days, and I got poked and prodded by the other world. And in the car on the way home, all of these things, even the girl said to me, "What are you up to?"
Yeah,
suspiciously quiet for the entire day. No.
I know.
And that kind of planted the seed, and we've been working on it ever since. But that's going to be a 12-month course.
Wonderful.
Working with the ancient British goddesses. So we've got Elen in there, but we've got Sulis and Sabrina, Verbea, Arnemetia, Andred, all of the real ancient English British goddesses.
Yeah.
And I think that is about them wanting their names heard.
Yes.
That's about them saying, oi, you've got all the Roman lot, you've got all the Greek lot, you've got all the Egyptian lot. Yeah. What about us?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I mean, I get
we've
that.
Got one goddess for each month. But what we've actually done is we wrote the course, as myself and some of the Kitchen Witch girls, and we've been working with it ourselves each month to test run it, to work through it, and to iron out any bits and pieces, and to get to know the goddesses ourselves. So that will be probably in bulk. I think we'll release that next year.
Lovely. Okay, well, look, let me know, and so that I can tell people as well, because that sounds absolutely great.
It's been an eye-opener for me, I must admit. It has been an interesting journey so far. Sulis has taken me by the shoulders and won't let go. Which is fantastic. I'm loving working with her. So yeah, it's all, again, like you say, for us it's a learning curve as well, and experiences.
I think people don't realize too, because I mean, I don't throw a brand new course at a load of brand new students. I've always done it myself, done it with friends, and got their feedback, and which really helps, because it doesn't iron out all the problems, but it does. You
write this stuff down, don't you? And then even if you read it back to yourself, it seems all right.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you get a bit blind to it, don't you? So it does help to test run it.
I mean, it's like having an editor on your book. You'll know precisely what you meant, and you'll see it written on the page, even when it isn't.
Yes.
Whereas somebody who's editing you goes, "What?"
Trevor often sends me messages saying, "Did you make up this word, or is it a real one?"
and sometimes it's like, "Well, okay, you said do this, but how?"
Yes, because in our heads we know what we're talking about, and we put it on that, but it might not necessarily have translated properly to the page. Yeah,
and we might not have explained enough for the other person to actually get it. And so this is something else I've got to do, and I've got to find. You might suddenly find yourself co-opted to help with numerology.
It's not an area I work with, so I might be a good test subject.
You probably would be, because I mean, honestly, the basics of it are that simple. But it's like untwisting your brain a bit and then twisting it again, and see, it's all about patterns. That's how they work. And so I might well borrow you on that.
For my brain.
have my beta testers. When I tell you to do this, is it working? Can you do it? Does it come out like I've said? Kind of thing.
But again, I think this is something that people don't realize, that all of this goes on behind the scenes before we put it out there. There's a lot of preparation, a lot of work goes on behind the curtains.
Absolutely. And you just can't go out there and busk it, not unless it's very simple or you've done it loads and loads of times. You can't busk it when it's brand new.
No,
you have to practice, and you have to get it seriously. I mean, the knowledge and the wisdom is in your bones anyway. Now you have to get the practice of getting it out of you into your bones. And no, it's we're not whining here, really, but it is a lot of hard work. And please, guys, we don't dump on you in that way. We have worked on it. It is possible. If it's going out there, we've tried it with people, and it will be possible. So
I think that's that's reflected in the fact that people will pay for the courses too. It's not just paying for this course. It's paying for all the time and the effort and the hours that have gone on behind the scenes in the months, sometimes years beforehand, to get it all out there, as well as all the usual website costs and all that kind of stuff that goes with it.
Which you always have to carry, but that's but no. I mean, it's like your goddesses course. You just said it's been 2 years so far.
Yeah. Literally, from the spark of the idea to us writing it and now to us testing it. Yeah.
And it's the same with this. I mean, I have done I've done numerology for years. I mean, I used to do it like people do astrology for people. I very rarely do now, but I do use it still. And I've taught it lots of times, but I've never taught it like this.
Yeah.
And so that's had sort of years of work in it. The white stag, I've never actually taught before.
Right.
I mean, I've played it with people, which is not really quite the same thing. But I've not taught it in a course, ordinary face-to-face or anything.
Yeah.
So that's getting tested and tried out. Does this work for you?
Yeah.
And so, there's loads of it. But anyway, I mean, you ought to be calling yours masterclasses too, I'm not going to be alone in this. I refuse to be isolated.
You're taking me with you.
Absolutely. we can hold hands and be terrified together. But seriously, I mean, Rachel, if you've not read Rachel's books, you should. And there's loads and loads and loads of stuff in there, and this would be great.
Yeah,
but it takes time.
Yeah,
and thank the gods in that way for Zoom and things like that, online courses.
It's opened up a whole other avenue, hasn't it? We wouldn't be doing half the stuff we're doing without this kind of technology.
No. And I mean, you can reach people who can't possibly come to you in the flesh, but want to know.
Yeah, well, we can teach people the other side of the globe now, can't we? So,
provided we get the time right, yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Australia is seriously difficult, but we're working on that. America's not too bad.
You can juggle that, can't you? You can,
Europe is fine.
No, I had a student in Japan that very rarely crossed.
I know that's as bad as Australia. It's seriously bad. And actually Europe and going down, because I've had South African students, and of course we're pretty well on the same, only with an hour or two difference, quite often on the same timeline. So that wasn't too bad. But I mean, this is another thing you got to work out. Oh, I love to teach this for Australians and for Americans, and it's a live course. So you're going to be teaching this at 2:00 in the morning, are you?
And then the clocks change. And that throws the whole schedule out again.
So you end up with things like world clock, on your tabs on the top, so you can check things before you even start.
I don't know why we still change. I don't know why the clocks still go forward and backwards.
Habit.
It's not like we're going out to the fields.
It was all wartime, Second World War. We're actually not really fighting anybody at the moment.
Yeah, no, well, we like to upset people on occasion, but
it hasn't got into a serious fisticuffs recently.
We're not, thankfully, touch wood.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's lots of people who say, why don't we just stick to GMT and sod it?
Yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it, not to mess around with things?
It does, and that's interesting with numerology as well, because that's about time.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I mean, your birthday is time. A moment in time. And working... it works with when we're doing the biodynamic stuff, and I'm teaching that. if only we could work with GMT and or UTC as it is now, then we're staying with what the planet does.
Right.
We're not saying planet +1
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
And so you're out of sync with the planet again.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd not thought about it like that. Yeah, we are, aren't we? Yes, I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah. We like to make life difficult, don't we?
It's currently sort of saying 5 to 11. Well, it isn't actually. It's 5 to 10.
Yeah.
In world time.
Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. And so you're out of sync. So you're looking at the stars, say, or looking at the moon, and it isn't actually where the moon and the earth and the sun are in cosmic time. And it's
just
really?
Yeah, just to throw a spanner in the works.
Well, as you said, there's no need. You know,
yeah, it's a bizarre thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even if you're getting up to go plough the fields or milk the cows or something, it's only a number on a clock.
It actually used to, when I lived on the farm, we had to get up and feed the pigs in the morning. It actually used to throw them completely when the clock.
Yes, it does. Yeah,
You know, you couldn't stay in bed another hour because they would be kicking down the stalls if their breakfast was an hour late. So it actually used to throw the animals completely.
Yeah. And I mean, my colleague Fiona, who you know, she's got a little small holding, and she can't take any notice of clock changes because she's got, you know, the rabbits and the hens and the geese and the ducks and the horses, and the sheep now, all to feed, and they work on planet time.
Yeah, they're not going to say, "It's all right, lads, go back to bed for another hour. Food's
Boris has said,
get back to bed. It's not breakfast time yet."
And if you actually sort of go in with it, Boris has said that it is now British summertime, you get various comments about Boris in animal. Various. Usually rude and unprintable.
Yes.
So like, stupid bugger. This is what the sun is saying to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wake up in the morning and I'm very attuned to sun and light and moon and that sort of thing. And I know it from that, and then I actually have to sort of put British summertime on it. You know.
Yeah.
And if you think that's how all the trees are, that's how the grass is when it grows, that's how your lettuces are working.
Yeah.
You know, they're not working on British summertime.
They don't look at the clock.
It's like when I was learning on the garden design course, and we were doing plant stuff, and I'm sure I've said it before. And, you know, people would say, "Oh, my thingamajiggy is not doing that," and I said, "Plant hasn't read the book."
Yeah, no.
And plant doesn't look at the clock.
No.
Plant knows it from the feel of the sunlight.
Plants, animals, they're doing their own thing, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, you know, don't you, that it's been proven that trees can count.
I knew they communicated with each other.
They count. And how they found it, it's this guy who was at the Hidden Life of Trees, the German forester play. And how they worked it is they watched how, say, apple or pear or cherry or blossoming fruiting trees, when they actually set their buds and open them, and they've counted so many days after the last frost.
Oh, right.
And they got statistics that showed this is what they do.
Yeah. Oh, they're clever, aren't they?
So you sort of think,
yeah,
next time I want to prune my tree, I'll ask first.
Because they know much better than we do.
Well, it's not just that. You just sort of turn up to somebody and cut half their fingers off. What are they going to feel like?
I think that's probably illegal too, but
but not if you're a tree.
No.
You see, you know, so it's like we actually need to sort of grow up and get back to what all witches have always known, all shamans have always known. everything is conscious and everything is
Yeah.
intelligent and everything knows. We just don't. We're so bloody dumb. We don't speak the language.
Yeah, well, we're out of sync and out of connection and
Yeah.
out of everything, aren't we?
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, if you've got animals, I mean, you have with your dog, he understands what you say.
Oh, absolutely.
And
he might not actually act on everything.
Well, no.
I think he's quite choosy as to whether he actually listens to what I say. But oh yeah, he understands every single word.
And once you get to actually watch animals and start looking at tiny little movements in their skin or their back or their tail or whatever, you see that they have answered you. They just didn't go ba-dum with the answer. And it's you know, plants can do it too, and you just have to learn the language. Which, I mean, probably, you know, your father and grandfather on the farm did know, did do and follow.
Yeah, or I think it's the weather as well, isn't it? Everybody on the farm could always tell whether it was going to rain the next day, or whether it's, you know, whether snow was coming, or just by feeling it or noticing the plants or the clouds, or we've lost that. We've lost that ability.
Yeah, you know, you should get your phone out and peer at it.
That makes me laugh when the kids do that. I've just checked my phone. It's raining outside. Why did you not just look out the window? I could have told you that already.
Oh, I know, and that is what cut. Not that I'm knocking mobile phones. I wouldn't be without mine.
Oh yeah, no, they are very useful.
But for goodness' sake, you know, get a minor amount of synapses firing, and you can learn this from being in touch. I want to be in touch with the land. Well, start by looking at the clouds.
Yeah. It's a whole big wide old world out there. Yeah.
If you look and you observe. Oh, that's another one they want me to do. We call it noticing.
Yes. Oh, that's just so important, isn't it? In everything that we do collectively as a pagan spiritual world, whatever. Yeah.
And it's something that you teach, I teach, but they want that on like a morning or a one day workshop. Which actually probably mean people will go out and come back in even in the workshop.
Yeah.
To actually do something. So that won't be till next year, because that's going to take a bit of organising. It's dead easy when you've got them in a room. It's not easy on Zoom. But yeah, it's just like notice something and be. You know, it's about being present. You've got to be present to notice something.
Yeah,
and
that's really important.
It is, and you know, anyway, they want us to do this, so you know, you'll just have, you know, the goddess is just the beginning, dear. You're going to have to start doing all this shit.
Oh yeah, my mind is like, you know, 27 tabs open.
I know.
I'm trying to bear it down.
Which makes me feel we probably ought to sort of close some of the tabs and go and have a drink or a cup of tea or a walk around the garden or something.
Yes, I think it's definitely time for a walk around the garden to notice.
Indeed. So we're both going out to notice, and don't forget Rachel's course is coming up, and if you want to know more, it's about me, it's elensentier.com.
And I'm rachelpatterson.co.uk. So
which you can get easy, you see. All you need is our names. Probably got those. They're on the screen.
Yes.
But it's growing, guys. And even though we're enjoying it.
We are. And on that note, thank you, everyone. And
thank you, everyone.
Go and have a look at all of Ellen's new exciting stuff.
And Rachel's.
And the Moonbooks page, that with all the other things, we've got some brilliantly talented authors over there too.
We do,
so.
Yeah.
And we will see you all again in a couple of weeks.
Indeed we will. Take care then, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye.